Okay, today we are going to see representation of vectors. Okay, so generally, if you take a force, force is a vector. If you want to write force in vector form, we'll take the variable of force like F bar. Generally, any vector is represented like letter, and that top of that letter we'll take one small arrow to do. So that it is a vector. So if we take length is a scalar, so we'll just write L. We'll represent with L like that. The difference between representing a vector and a scalar. For vectors, we will take a small arrow on the top. For scalar, we will just denote with the letter. Okay. So what is representing vector means? Representing vector means we have to say the magnitude of vector, magnitude plus direction. Both we have to represent at a time. For example, let us take assume this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. For suppose there is a block in the room in which we are applying force 5 newtons in this direction towards right. So representing towards right, we have to say force. In English we can say that force is 5 newtons acting towards right, but in physics we have to represent this right side as we take 5 newtons in right side as 5 is magnitude, and the direction factor here we add is I cap. So what is I cap? Generally we'll take, if it is along x-axis we'll take I cap is the unit vector here, and if it is along y-axis it is j cap, and if it is along z-axis it is k cap. Okay, so here the force is acting along positive x-axis, so we are writing 5, the magnitude of force, and I cap, which denotes it is acting along positive x-axis. For suppose if the force is acting in upward direction, we will represent this force F bar is equals to 5, which is magnitude, and the unit vector along that direction. So what is unit vector? The magnitude of that vector is 1. See here, 1 I cap unit, this is 1 k cap, 1 j cap. The I j k represents x, y, z respectively. Okay, so here F bar is equals to 5 is the magnitude and it is acting vertically upwards, so we will take it as j cap. Okay, so what about the opposite sense? Suppose if force is acting downwards 5 newtons, we will represent it as magnitude is 5, and if it is opposite to the coordinate axis, we will take minus j cap. Minus j cap. Upward means plus j cap, downwards means minus j cap generally. Okay, so it is 5. So this minus j cap indicates that the force is acting in vertically downward direction. Okay, now we can take if I say F bar is equals to minus 10 j cap, then we can say that there is a force 10 newtons is acting in downward direction, because this minus indicates just a direction and j cap indicates is along vertical axis. Okay, for suppose if there is a net force acting on the body is 10 I cap plus 10 j cap, then we can say that there is a force 10 acting like this and 10 is acting vertically upwards. So both the combination is a resultant this. Okay, the two forces are acting, so net force is 10 I cap plus 10 j cap. Okay, so why we are representing like this means, see, generally if you have generally if we add scalars, like there is a rope of mass 2 kgs and there is another rope of mass 3 kgs. What if we combine this? What is the total mass? We will say 5 kgs, right? But in vectors, let's say there is a 5 Newton force acting in this direction and 10 Newton force acting in this direction. What is the total force? Total force means that is net force. We will call it as net force. We should not do 5 plus 10. It's wrong. because it has a direction. We should not add vectors directly, we should add them in vector form itself. So F net on this block is given as, here 5 newtons is acting along x-axis, so we will write 5 I cap plus 10 newton force is acting along y-axis, so we will write 10 j cap. Okay, so we should add like this only. Okay, let's go with another example. For example, if you take 10 newtons force is acting this side and 15 newton force is acting along this side. So what is the net force now? So net force is, you will say 10 I cap plus 15 is acting towards left, so it is minus I cap, the direction. So overall what will happen? 10 I cap minus 15 I cap, which is minus 5 I cap. So overall net force is minus 5 I cap. So simple, here it is 15 newtons, here 10, so the net 15 minus 10, so overall net force is 5 will be acting this side. This is equivalent to the 5 newton force acting towards left. Okay, that's what net force is called. Okay.